Alright guys, this is my Ender 3 Pro. It will definitely be transformed. I didn't really do a review on this, but I guess I could speak on it before it's totally get redone. So this is my overly modded Ender 3 Pro. It was stock for maybe about 2-3 months, and then it went through a couple of revisions to make it print really good. I mean, it prints good now, but I think it can get even better. You know that I know a lot more versus 8 months ago. This was my first printer. I went with a yellow theme, yellow and blue. Now it's going yellow and black. But so it, you know, I went ahead with the ANET A8 or pusher style kind of setup. It works. I'll say this, the best thing to get, all right, so let me start from, you know, kind of going through a couple things when it comes to 3D printing. Let's start from bed adhesion. The best thing you can do is level your bed. And I know there's a lot of video out there, but I'm just gonna put it plain. Get your bed leveled. Now you can, I'm using Clipper, but you can set up a program. I think Marlin has it as well, or you can run a G code that basically goes around all 4 corners of your bed, right? So just make sure you know where each position of the screw is. You can have a G code that goes and pause and lets you do a full level. Okay, so that's what I do. I run a G code, I heat up my bed. So usually I print around 70 to 80 degrees. Usually I do like 75, but I find that PLA sticks better. Now it depends on what material your bed is. I find that PLA sticks better between 70 and 75 in my experience. Anything below that, it tends to, if your material is not good, it tends to kind of warp and adhere itself off the bed. But I find that between 70 and 75, PLA sticks amazing, okay? And then between 75 and 80, PETG sticks really well. So that's my range. So 5 degrees difference between those ranges, so 70 to 80, but I find that PLA and PETG sticks really well. Now, back to it. Once you level your bed, you're gonna find that you'll have a better chance of your BL Touch or a regular inductive probe giving you a flatter bed. Okay, you want to make sure when you level your bed that the paper that you're using to level the bed with is the nozzle is touching all 4 corners. Okay, you're gonna keep doing, if you have to keep readjusting till you get all 4 nozzle touching, then do that. But once you get all 4 paper and once you get all 4 corners touching the nozzle evenly, then you know you're set. Basically your bed is pretty decently leveled and you'll be able to print and not worry about warping or adhesion issues. So that's the first thing. So make sure you level your bed manually first before you depend on a BL Touch or a inductive probe or whatever probe you use. Second thing I learned, Z banding and wobble. The best way to get rid of Z banding, I learned, is to get these thing here. These spring type of couplers. Now the best way to use these things, again, I'm not sure if anyone shows you guys, but the best way to use these things is to put like a 7mm ball bearing inside of it, so it sits between the actual stepper motor stepper motor shaft and the lead screw. So when it sits between it, what that allows, it allows the lead screw to pivot. So whatever wobble affects it basically cancels it out at the bottom here, and that will prevent a lot of Z banding. I mean, this stuff works amazing. Okay, so again, get like a 7mm ball bearing in between the stepper motor shaft and the lead screw, and then you wouldn't have to worry about any type of Z wobbling. Okay, another thing that will help with it too is I use the POM nut instead of the brass nuts, because the brass nuts have a little too much play in it, especially when you're using Z-hop. It has too much play. This don't have any play. These POM nuts is kind of a type of plastic, but it doesn't have any play in it, and so I can use Z-hop all day and don't worry about my position being missing or any type of weird stuff. So again, that's another good investment. So between this type of coupler, the Z nut, you will eliminate any type of Z banding or any type of weird issue when it comes to Z rod. Another thing as well is make sure you do a PDI tune on your bed and on your nozzle. Those are very important. If you do a PDI tune on your bed, on your nozzle, you also eliminate a lot of weird printing artifacts and issues, because you got to keep in mind, if you don't PDI tune your bed expand up and down as the temperature changes. Same thing with your nozzle. So if you're doing that, you're going to have inconsistent extrusion lines. So if you look at a print, like when you look at now you can't fully eliminate it, but if you can get your temperature very stable between your bed and your nozzle, you'll find that the inconsistency between your extrusion line minimalize really well. So again, if you do those things, you'll find that your printing experience is much better. Your print come out with really superior quality, and you won't have a lot of issues. So those are the things I've learned, and I'm just sharing them with you. All right, this is not necessarily a review. I'm just going over the mods. So it has linear rails on both sides of the bed. So it's all linear rails, linear rods. The reason for linear motion versus the stock wheels, not that the stock wheels can't achieve the same thing, it's just that you don't have to worry about the stock wheels rubbing out and buying more and wearing off over time buying more. This, all as long as you lubricate these things, you don't have to worry about them for a very long time. Okay, you don't have to worry about replacing anything on here. You can print and not have to worry about anything. As again, occasional lubricants, that's all you got to do, and this thing will print forever. Okay, so that's the benefit with linear. Also, linear give you more precision. It's more smoother, less friction, more precision in the prints. You know, it help with some accuracy. You will never have full accuracy on a 3D printer when working with plastic. I mean, you know, but you can get really close to really good accuracy, you know. But again, with all those changes, it makes for a really good printer. So what I'm doing now is the upgrade. Well, I really like the Voron Toolhead. I could turn this into a switch wire, but I already have one, and you know, I was convincing myself that I could, but I don't really want three switch wires. As you can see, I have another Ender Pro here. This is green themed, but it's the same thing. I don't want 3 switch wires. I want to take a different direction. So I want the tool head from the Voron, but I want to keep my rods and everything because I already invested the money in it. It'll be a waste to just get rid of rods, you know, and have a bunch of rods laying around. I mean, I have enough spare parts to build another printer just from scratch. That's how much parts I have. As you can see, I have like enough spare parts. There's like tons of stepper motors in there. I still got stepper motors over there. Tons of screws. In that basket there's like extrusions for these. There's wires and cables. As you can see, those are the parts I'm printing out for the upgrade, and lots of screws. So as you can see, I'm not like out of any resourceful. I spent so much money on this. It's insane. I could build another one, but I like the switch wire. I already built a big one I'm pretty good with that. I'm pretty satisfied. I just want a different direction for these, something simpler, something easy. And I just like the tool head from the Voron. I think it's convenient. It's easy to swap out hot ends, just easy to change parts and everything. So for the convenience, someone has modded the legacy base mount to fit on the linear rods on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade it to that. I think it's gonna be a cool look on an Ender 3. So basically an Ender 3 with a Voron Toolhead. So it's not a full Voron, just the toolhead. And I need to upgrade the olders here in order for it to be compatible with that toolhead. So when you see this in the next video, it'll be some progress, some updates, and show its transformation of my final touch. Like, this will be the last mod I do with these things, because like I said, I'm not planning on going crazy with switch wire, because like I said, I already have a switch wire, I already have a legacy. The next printer I would like to build is a Voron 2.4, but sometime down the road, maybe 4 months from now, 5 months from now. I would definitely buy another X5 SA frame and convert that into a 2.4, and just to get the spare parts and the spare tools. It's just a nice frame, honestly. It's just a very do-it-yourself frame to basically convert anything. It's a nice cube frame to basically make any printer out of, in terms of a coax wire or so. So I'm probably gonna buy another X5 SA regular and convert it into a 2.4 Voron. So yeah, so that's coming at some point down the road, so watch out for that. But yeah, so I'm just gonna keep it light with these are just my regular printers to print PLA, PTG, and like I said, my little collection. As you can see, I have all my collection, and that's really what my original idea for the printer was to print these figurines as a little collection, and I kind of want to keep them as that. So between these two, they'll print my little figurines, and I don't need to go crazy with those. So I'm gonna go ahead, start pulling it apart, and transform it, and let you see what the result looks like. So I'll see you in the next clip. All right, guys. So I got the new stuff in. So I got the Pruz style X motor mount and idler, and it's the person who designed it's on Thingiverse. I think I'm gonna put a link under the description for him, but he had to bring the spacing like about 5mm closer, because I think the Pruz spacing is 5mm, 45mm. This is 40mm, so it's kind of, you have to space it down to match the Voron Legacy carriage. So you can now that you have the carriage on here, you can actually mount a full Voron Toolhead on here. So you can do the Bowden, or you can do the direct feed or direct drive. So I love my direct drive, so this will be direct drive. However, I ran into a dilemma. There's no way to put a end stop on here. I tried to do it at the back, but the spacing is so tight that there's no way I would fit a end stop here. It will just kind of rub. So my best thing now is to actually try to configure sensorless ohming. Unfortunately, all the stepper driver I have, I snipped the pin. I don't want to have to resolder, because I don't have the best soldering skill. So what I went ahead and did was order 2 of the Big Tree Tech stepper drivers with the diode pin, and I'm gonna leave those intact, and it's just gonna be on the X. So I'm gonna keep the limit switch on my Y, but of course on the X it's the only one that's gonna have the sensorless ohming, so that way it can ohm, and so that way I can get it going. So yeah, so that's basically all the progress, but so far everything is good. Everything is nicely tight aligned, everything is looking clean. I got the tool head also kind of pre-assembled, but yeah, this kind of killed the whole progress as I would have been done. But for now, this is where I'm gonna leave it at. Again, just the X gantry and the Z gantry is assembled. And so yeah, so that's it. I'm gonna call this part one of this Ender 3 Pro kind of customization, I guess. I don't know what I'm gonna call the video yet, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of show you guys what I'm doing. So this will be a short video until we get that stepper driver and upload. So yeah, so I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, guys, finally got sensorless homing working. Got a Big Tree Tech driver. Big Tree Tech driver 2209 with the diode pin enable on it, so I'm able to get the sensorless homing working on the X-axis. As you can see, it's printing. I'm already tuned, already have input shaper set up, so everything is looking good. No Z banding whatsoever, as you can see. No Z banding. The print is actually look really good. I'm printing some green Voron Toolhead. This is the mod for the 50-15 fan duct, even though this is the 40-30, I think 40-20. But I'm trying out the mod on this one, so this one will be also converted to the Prusa, the actual official Prusa spacing, and the Voron spacing for the tool head. And yeah, so this one will also be a green and black theme. I really love this tool head. I mean, like I said, the design very aesthetically pleasing to look at, easy to change the hot end, the hardware, pretty much easy to pull apart and put back together. Really clean tool head, and it just really made everything really nice here. I really like this this design. This was the mod for the Ender 3 switch wire Y tensioner. I really like it. It's pretty neat, so I end up printing it out for this. But yeah, I could turn this into a switch wire, but it's working perfectly as with the linear setup. The fact that I can get the Voron Toolhead on there just makes it that much of a plus. Also, I just wanted to get into some other topics as well, other than just the mod. Again, it was pretty easy. Just get the right sizing. I think I'll just try to put the spacing. If you guys want to attempt to do this, pretty easy mod. I'll give you the sizing for the X axis and the Z, as well as the Y axis as well. So for the Y, I'm using linear rails, and for the Z and X, I'm using linear rods. They're 8mm rods, and so it's running good. It's printing really well. Another tip I wanted to give is, for like bed flingers, it's best to keep your bed light in order to improve your print quality, especially when you're going for speed. As you can see, my tool head is really moving fast right now. This is printing at 120mm infill, 60mm per the wall, so perimeter of the wall. It's running at about 2000 acceleration on the print speed, 15 on the wall, 1500 on the wall, and I think 3000 travel. Okay, so you will see, you know, zitting across when you're traveling. So yeah, it's printing fast. Again, as you can see, it's very clean. The printer coming out really clean. Now, the key to this is, again, you need these couplers. These couplers allow for flex in the rods, because it's not all rods are straight. But then again, the shorter the rod, the straighter they are. If you get long rods, like, I'm sorry, not the rods, but like the lead screw, the shorter the lead screw, the less flex and play, you know, less warping you have in the lead screw. But the longer it is, you tend to have a little bit more warping. So it's hard to get straight lead screw, but if they're straight, all the better. But what this does is it's kind of cancel out some of that wobble that you might experience if you had a straight coupler on here. Some people use straight couplers and they don't get banding, and that's fine. That's probably because the setup is already straight. But when you don't have a straight lead screw, this is your best friend right now. And I use it on all my printers that have lead screw. I don't have any more banding issues at all. Again, it really does help to eliminate that stuff. Another thing is get your frame as rigid as possible. Like this setup is completely rigid. There's no flex, there's no play, it's very tight. And also for bed flingers, it's best to keep it light. For an Ender 3, I wouldn't use glass. Now, again, in the past, I still love my glass. Don't get me wrong. I think glass is the best thing to use in terms of printing PLA. It gives you such a nice, smooth, glossy bottom, and the print pops off when it's cold. But the problem is, I also print PETG, and PETG sticks way too well to glass. I mean, and I don't want to have to keep using glue and other supplements in order for it to stick. But when it sticks to glass, it takes out a chunk of your glass. So I went ahead and get a sticker, which is very light. It's not heavy, it's light. And it holds the print, as you see, I'm printing PETG, holds the print in place. But the benefit also is that it lowers the weight on your bed. So I can print fast now and not have to worry about a lot of ringing in the print, right? Because if you have a heavy glass on your bed, you try to print fast, all that weight of the glass is going back and forth like this. It's going to show up in your print. You know, also as a tool head too, if your tool head is very heavy, it's going to also show a ring in your print if you're trying to print fast. If you print slow, it doesn't matter. If you're doing your regular 60 millimeters, 70 millimeters, it's not a big deal. But when you start hitting like 120 millimeter type of speed with high accelerations, you definitely want to keep things light as possible in order to reduce the ringing or the frequency in your print, and just overall better smoother finish. So those are my tips. Again, level your bed, keep it light if you can. Use these couplers to cancel out any type of wobble in the lead screw, and you'll be all right. Also, another lesson, do not, I know a lot of people constrain their lead screw. If your lead screw is already straight, it's okay to use the like a 608 bearings to kind of keep it straight and contain it. That's fine. But if your lead screw have a wobble in it, it's best not to constrain it, because again, even though this help cancel out any wobbling, you're gonna find that at the top your lead screw is gonna want to hit back and forth, depends on how the wobble is. So it's best not to constrain your lead screw too much. So like this have a lot of space. As you can see, there's gaps around it. So if it was flexing, it has room to flex at the top, right? But if I constrain it, that wobble has to go somewhere else, and that's how it ends up showing up in your prints. So you got to keep all those in mind when you're building a printer. But yeah, so this Ender 3 is done. I'm not going to turn the switch wire. Like I said, it's printing awesome. It's printing just as fast because I'm on Clipper, of course. And after all this 8 months of experience, I figured it out. I figured out how to build a printer, how to tune it, how to keep it printing fast, and keep the prints clean. So I'm done with this now. No more touching it. It's just printing, and that's it for this. And same thing for this one. This one will also get the same treatment, and I'll put up a video of that, to show the green and black theme on this one. And I'll do a video of this next week. I don't know if I have any other project, but I'll do some other video, because I have a few other things I would like to show. Also going to convert this little printer here into an ABS machine. So this thing is only going to be set up to print ABS. So that's another project I want to kind of mess with, maybe put an enclosure over it and let it print ABS. That's it. Eventually, I would like to build a 2.4 Voron, but I have a lot of printers already. As you can see, there's I have a Tronxy X5 SA Pro. I want to do a review on all these printers eventually, but for now, stick to the Ender. So I'm gonna give my honest opinion about an Ender 3. An Ender 3, I know a lot of people hate on this machine. but this was my first printer. Okay, it doesn't look like an Ender 3 now, but when I got it 8 months ago, I want to say 9 months ago, during the pandemic, that's back in last April 2020, I was fresh. I didn't know much about 3D printers. I just did my research and I purchased this because everybody recommended this. And it's not bad for a first-time printer, but it can be improved. It can be improved upon significantly. Basically, this thing prints better than a Prusa at this moment. It prints better than a Prusa. Yeah, I did sink some money into it, but you know what? The amount of money I spent doesn't equal the price of a Prusa though. That's the benefit. So, whereas you know, the awesome thing about a Prusa, you get the service, you get the reliability, you get all that fancy gizmo for $700-800. But I modded mine and I have the reliability. I don't have to call Creality because I honestly know what I'm doing. But I'm just saying, this is for like advanced people, like people who know about printers. The Ender 3 is a perfect, I should have put it, perfect canvas to kind of mess with, right? A perfect canvas to tinker with and make it better. The Prusa is just for those who are new to 3D printing, do not care about modding or touching or anything, just want to go to print. That's what the Prusa is for, right? So in that case, the price is certainly worth it, right? But for those who just want to tinker or just want to take a little blank canvas printer that is okay and make it better than a Prusa, this is what the Ender 3 is for, in my honest opinion. Or if you don't care about modding the Ender 3, you just want a print form to just print certain things, it's good for that too. It's cheap, you can get a whole bunch of them and do that. But for me, this was a blank canvas to just tinker and make it better without spending a ton of money. And honestly, other than the linear rails and linear rods, everything else is printed. I didn't have to buy a whole ton of stuff to make it better. So again, at the end of the day, people can hate on this machine, but it has a ton more potential than a Prusa. A Prusa is already maxed out. You can't really do much because it's already come at a set standard out the box. There's not much to improve upon a Prusa, right? But on the Ender 3, you can improve a lot more. And again, I'm printing way better than a Prusa. My print quality is superior. I'm printing faster than a Prusa can. Not that a Prusa can't get up to that speed, but running Clipper, I'm printing faster than any standard Ender 3 and still retaining quality. You know what I'm saying? So again, it is a very, to me, it's a tinkerer machine. It can do it if you really want to do it, or you just can leave it stock and print normal. But for me, I wanted to push the machine to its limits. I really wanted to see what it has to offer, and I'm honestly impressed with this thing. This thing you can take in so many directions. And yeah, so that's my opinion on it. It's a good machine for those who want to get into 3D printing. It's a good machine for those who want to tinker. It's a good machine to experiment with. Just overall, in my opinion, this is one of the best machine out there to buy, aside from a Prusa, right? Stock. This is one of the best machine out there to buy and tinker with and just, you know, have a good time with. So yeah, so that's it. Went into a rant. I'm sorry about that, guys, but that's just my opinion on it. But yeah, so I'm happy the way it turned out. It's printing really well. And yeah, sorry for the late video, guys. I was waiting on the stepper driver for the sensorless homing. So, but now that everything is squared away, it's tuned, input shaper tuned, pressure advance tuned, you know, it's all running good. Very fast Z too. I wish I could show you a video. I might put a clip in that to show you how fast the Z is on this thing. So yeah, so I'll see you in the next one. Peace. All right, guys, and just like that, the green one is done. Yeah, it's been a couple of days since you seen the last clip, so I went ahead and got the green one done. So no, both of them are done. I won't be touching these for a while. I read in a comment, I read a comment, and I just want to clarify something, guys. Like, I don't want to give the impression, or well, not impression, but I don't want to come off like I hate ABS or ASA or any other type of high temperature filament. I'm not advocating for PETG or anything like that. I kind of want to be clear. Vorons are designed to use ABS, right? It's in particular, they're designed to use the ABS because again, it can withstand high temperature in the enclosure. You know, we can go into many specs. It's tensile strength, its properties. It's totally different from PTG. Now, that's what's recommended to print a Voron in. Okay, I myself do not care to print ABS at the moment. I will eventually once I make an enclosure, and I'm probably not even going to print ABS. I'm probably going to do ASA instead, just because of its properties. It seems a little bit better, a little stiffer, a little stronger than ABS in overall. But I have nothing against ABS. It's just that PTG does work for my application in terms of I don't have any of these printers enclosed, so PTG is perfectly fine for using of this. Right now, if I was enclosing it and and going with the Voron specification, then absolutely I'll go ABS or ASA or any type of high strength high temperature filament. But in this case, I'm not at the moment, so it's not a big deal. So I don't want to confuse you guys, making it seem like you can't that to not use ABS. Absolutely use the recommended stuff. If that's what is recommended, absolutely go use the ABS or ASA. Not steering you away from that, absolutely not. For me, I don't mind going with PTG. It works. I've used it so much and the stuff prints so well that like I said, I've not run into an issue with it. And it's not that you can't use it. I'm just saying, as far as Vorons, they're designed with ABS in mind, so use ABS, right? But for those who don't, or are not going to enclose and don't mind printing some PTG and eventually down the future print ABS or ASA, that's fine too. I don't need all my printers enclosed. I can just enclose one of them and have it print ABS. I'm not printing ABS parts all day long. That honestly, I really don't need ABS, but for the purpose of building a Voron, I suggest you go with the official recommendation of using ABS. So I don't want anyone take my comment in terms of PTG the wrong way, right? But PTG can be used, right? It can. It's not like it's an impossible filament not to be able to use. However, if you're going into an enclosure, if you're planning to print ABS with your printer, I suggest you use ABS to print the parts with and put it in the enclosure and do all the Voron recommended stuff. But for me, I wasn't planning on enclosing any of these printers. Like I said, that little printer will be my little project to enclose and to just print ABS. That's all it's going to be doing, or ASA or whatever high temperature filament. And at that point, I don't even want to use plastics. I'd rather just use metal, like straight metal, and not have to worry about melting or anything like that at that point. So to me, it's a debate online, especially in the Voron community. I mean, I have nothing against the guys that are straight to recommending ABS. I mean, there's nothing wrong. Like I said, they do recommend ABS in this, but I'm different. I don't like to be, how should I put it? I don't want to come off ignorant or sound out of the fold, but I like to try things different. I don't necessarily like to follow what people usually do or recommend. Like, I like to think outside the box, which is why my printers are all kind of different. Like, I like to not follow culture, right? I like to just break outside of that cycle. And yes, there's a proven reason why ABS is actually recommended, tensile strength, its properties, all that. But again, in this case, PTG is okay. In some application, PTG is better, right? Each of these plastic has their strengths and weaknesses, and they're tuned to the application that they're being used in, right? So again, there's nothing wrong with anybody using the recommended specs. Like, I just don't want anybody to take that the fact that I'm advocating for PETG out of context. You know, absolutely go with the recommended stuff. I would never not tell you to use a stronger filament or a better filament. I'm just saying I like PETG. I like the properties of PETG. I like the fact that it actually does work with the Voron stuff in terms of the parts. I haven't run into an issue or situation where the PETG has failed me yet. Now I can see in terms of the fan duct, if you're printing in like a very hot enclosure, like a very hot bed, like 100 degrees. I never hit 100 degrees on my bed, by the way, but that's because I'm printing all the PETG. But if you hit 100 degrees, 110 degrees with the PETG duct so close to the bed, I can see that melting. I can absolutely see that melting. So in that case, you just print the duct into a stronger material like ABS or ASA or one of those materials that are heat resistant. But I currently don't print those things. I only print PLA and PETG, and I'm gonna dabble in some TPU at some point. But like I said, when I want to print ABS or ASA, this is the dedicated machine for that. I really don't want to print it on these. These are just to print my bus and, you know, my PLA stuff and my PETG stuff. Like, that's really what they're for. And, you know, again, I don't make any mechanical part. I'm not a 3D designer by any means. I don't know how to use CAD the greatest. I just like to take a design, play with it, mess with it, tinker with it. That's the purpose of really this channel, is to show people that you can pretty much transform a stock machine into something that can actually print really well, print faster, print better, you know what I'm saying, with not necessarily any material, but with adequate material, and still come out on top. So again, I wasn't trying, you know, again, it's not about being smart here or what's best. I'm just saying, if you have PETG, you know you're not going to enclose your machine, and you're not going to print anything that requires super high temperatures, PETG is fine. Now, if you're going to do that, you want to enclose, you want to print ABS a lot and ASA all day, then I definitely recommend what the Voron recommend, and that's printing ABS to be on the safe side, right? So that's my stance. All right, back to this after that rant. So yeah, so I'm done with these for now. I think they're printing well, they're printing fast. I think I have each of them, they have mirror settings, you know, the same thing, it's the same printer, but just, you know, different color. Same settings in the slicer. So it was just easy to get this one sorted out. Of course, I use the accelerometer to put input shape on here, so it's moving. I mean, I have it at 3,000 in the travel, 1,500 on the wall acceleration, and 2,000 in print speed at 120 millimeter. So it moves fast. It's fast enough for this. I don't need it to go insanely crazy, because I have, like, if you looked, I have one printer there, one printer there, one printer there, one there, a little one there, and then my switch wire. So I have plenty of printers. There's no need to have all of them at full bore print speed, but you know, they're pretty decently, they're moderate. All of them are at least pushing 3,000 in the travel. They pretty much have similar print speed across the board. So if I print something, I know I expect it at a certain time. And so yeah, so I'm just happy everything turned out clean and nice and neat. And yeah, I'm happy. The only thing I'm about to do here is I like the 5015 fan ducts. It seems like it does a much better job than the 4020 that is recommended. So I changed it out to the 5015, and as you can see, look at that the bow on that Benji looks so much cleaner compared to before. Before it was like all melting and looking all weird, but it looks much cleaner. So I'm gonna convert this, which is having trouble cooling, and put the 5015 fan mod on that one. So as you can see, it's on the floor here. So I just need to put that together, slap it on, do another test print, and I think we should be good there. But yeah, I think that's it, guys. Just wanted to share that mod with you guys. Like I said, it's a very good platform to mod and tinker with. So I can go back to printing, and yeah, Remember to subscribe, like, comment, hit the bell for notification. My goal is at least one video a week. That's my goal until, you know, I can get in a routine to do more. But for right now, one video a week. My topics are very niche. Like, again, 3D printing, computers, you know, software, little firmwares. Like, I do those little niche things. So again, if you guys are interested into that nerdy stuff, this is the channel for you. So remember, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment. Appreciate you guys. Peace.